Good morning all of you. Welcome back once again in online class. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 5. So put today's date. Okay. Chapter number 5. In chapter 4, very simple thing is there. Only one topic is there which I want to discuss. Exception handling, that I will discuss you later on. Okay. This is my humble request that please go through the chapter. Okay. In chapter 4, whatever the topics has been given, that already we have discussed in class 11th. Some of the portion we have discussed in class 10th. Okay, just read it, and what I feel that exceptional handling is the topic which is to be discussed. That I will discuss later on. Let me start chapter 5, that is primitive values, typecasting and expressions. Primitive values, typecasting and expressions. Of course, if you go through this chapter, most of the topics already we have discussed in class 10 as well as in class 11th. What other topics are there in this chapter? Let me write down and we will discuss one by one. We have to discuss about the data type. Main topic I am telling you, data type is there. Then we have to discuss about the wrapper classes. Then type conversion, expressions, so these are the certain points it has been covered in this chapter. But if you look at the topic, very common topic. Class 11, in class 10th also it was there, in 11th also it was there, and here in class 12th also it is there. Just we need to have a revision, nothing else, just we want to have a revision. Data type, wrapper classes, type conversion and expressions. So let us start from the data type. By the name it is very clear that what is the meaning of data type. Data type means what type of data you are going to use, or you are going to store, or you are going to do operation on it. That is the meaning of data type. Data type means to identify the type of data, and associated operations of handling it. Okay. So data type is a very means we have a common relationship between the variables and the data type. When we need data type, when we declare the variable, in that situation we need data type, because we know that variable is used to store the value. So it is our duty to instruct the computer, to instruct the compiler that what type of value that variable has to store. That information we need to give to the computer, or that instruction we need to give to the computer. So without data type we cannot make a variable. So there is a strong relationship between the data type and the variable. A variable, you cannot make any variable without a data type. Okay. So what I mean to say that generally where we need data type. We need data type when we declare the variable or when we define the variables. Why? Very simple answer, because sir, in variable only we are going to store the value. We are going to store the value. So it is our duty to tell to the computer that what type of value this variable is going to store. And for that purpose, Java has provided us data type. Java has provided us data type. Okay. So in Java, data types are of two types. So we have a classification of data type. Data types are classified into two categories. That is number one, primitive data type. Non-primitive data type. Primitive data types are also known as fundamental data types. It is also known as built-in data type, or you can say that basic data type. Similarly, for non-primitive data type also we have a different names. Composite data type, or you can say user defined data type, composite data type. In some books you will get derived data type. For primitive data type we have one more name, intrinsic data type, and for non-primitive data type we have intrinsic. Let me write down here. Intrinsic data type. Intrinsic data type means equivalent to primitive data type, and extrinsic data type means equivalent to non-primitive data type. So in Java we have two types of data type. So let us understand what is the meaning of primitive data type. Which, see, by the name it is very clear that fundamental data type or built-in data type. If you read this word, this sentence, built-in data type. So built-in data type means which already available in the Java. There are certain data types which are already available in Java. So such type of data types are known as primitive data types. Okay, so if you are writing the definition of primitive data types, you can say that, sir, primitive data types are those data types which are already available in Java language, or which is already given by the programmer, Such type of data types are known as primitive data types. Okay. So many are there: integer, float, double, long. These are the examples of primitive data type. Now further we have a classifications. Further we have a classification of primitive data type. So let us discuss in detail about the primitive data type. So what do you mean by the primitive data types? So the data types which are by default available in Java language, they are called primitive data types. You can say that definition that the data types which are by default available in Java, or you can say that predefined, which is already defined in the Java language. So data type which are predefined in Java language. So data type which are by default available in Java language or which is already defined in Java language, they are called primitive data types. Okay. So you can note down. Now, further primitive data type have a classification. So further primitive data type has been classified into two categories. We can say that numeric data type and non-numeric data type. Non-numeric data type. In numeric data type also we have two categories. One is called integer data type, and here we can say that floating point data type. For non-numeric data type we do not have any classification. See, when I am talking about the numeric data type, means the data type which allow us to store numeric value. Okay, so when we talk about the numeric value, again we have a two classification, whether you want to store an integer value or do you want to store any fractional value. Okay, so in order to store the fractional value we have a different data type, and in order to store integer value, or you can say integer values, we have a different data type. Okay, what are the data types are available for storing the integer values? Number one, we have a byte, we have a short, we have a int, we have a long. These are the four data types are available for storing the integer values. And if you want to store the fractional values, so we have a data type float, second is your double. Okay, now here very important point to be noted down, that please learn its memory size. Memory size means if you are making any variable of int, suppose I have written a statement int a, what the compiler will do? It will allocate the space in the memory. In order to store the value, the integer value. Okay, now question comes, that's how much space a system allocate, how much space it occupy to store any integer value. So when you are writing int, it occupy 4 bytes. 4 bytes memory. 4 bytes memory it occupy to store any integer values, whether it is a negative or a positive. Okay, so you must know the size, how much integer occupy, how much long, how much short, how much byte, because in the multiple choice question may examiner can ask what is the memory size of short data type, So right now here no problem, I can also tell, I can tell you, for byte we have only one byte memory it will occupy. For short we have 2 bytes, for integer we have 4 bytes, and for long we have 4 bytes. So 8 bytes. Okay, so it will occupy 8 bytes memory size. It occupy 8 bytes memory to store a long value. Okay, so these are the data type only for storing the integer values. Now here, in order to store the fractional value, we have two data type. One is float and another is double. Okay, how much they occupy the space in the memory? So for the float, we have 4 bytes, and for double also we have 8 bytes. Okay, so double also occupy 8 bytes. Now see, here very important question may examiner can ask. Name two pair of data type. Name two pair of data type of same memory size. Give the pair. So we have a pairs, int and float. They have this means one pair. Int and float is the one pair. They have the same size of the memory. Long and double, another pair having the same memory size, 8 bytes, and here also 8 bytes. Okay, so these are the things we need to take care. Okay, now let us discuss something more about the float and double also. Okay, both the data type we use to store the fractional value. Okay, but still there is a difference between float and double. Okay, one difference is there, sir, it occupy the memory size 4 bytes, double occupy 8 bytes. But one more difference is there between float and double. Let us discuss that also. Float support 6 precision value, and double support 15 precision value. Okay. Okay, so float support 6 precision value and double support 15 precision value. And the difference between float and double. Now here very important point is that, sir, what is the meaning of precision value? So precision value means the value which we write after the point. For example, 2.654336. They are called precision value. So what I am telling that float support 6 precision value means if you are making any variable a of float data type, so you can store a fractional value, no doubt, but it will support only 6 precision value, means the value after the point. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more it will support. But if you write another one, it will eliminate. Only 6 values it will store after the point. Which one? Float. Similarly, for the double, precision value is more. How much? 15. So value after the point, it will support 15 digits. It will support. So you can say it is another difference between float and double. So, examiner can ask which data type having 16 precision value, or examiner can ask what is the precision value of double. It may give you option 12, 13, 14, 16, 15, like that. So you have to select which one is the correct. Double support 15 precision value. Okay. So this is about the primitive data type. This is about the primitive data type. This is about the primitive data type. Okay. Let us bind up here only. In the next class or in the next video, I will start non-primitive data type. Okay, it will take time also, and of course here we have many things to discuss about the non-primitive data type. Okay, so thank you so much, and God bless you all.